Hello and welcome to another one of my consulting training videos. In today's video, I want to explain how I deal with inbound leads, people who have arrived on my website that are looking to engage with me, interact with me to find out more about my consulting services and what I have to offer. As a consultant, a freelancer, a coach, any kind of independent worker, there are loads of different ways that you can encourage people to interact and reach out to you. Whether you have a simple contact form on your website where you ask questions, maybe you ask them to subscribe to a newsletter, maybe you just have a phone number. I have chosen to ask people to book an introductory call with me. And so when you come to my website, when you land on one of the pages which tells you a little bit about my consulting services, I don't mention anything about pricing. I don't mention anything about this, there's no forms to fill out, there's no subscribing to do. The only thing you can really do is book an introductory call with me. And that's a decision, a very deliberate decision that I have made because I want to speak to people. I find that it's much more beneficial if I can speak to them, I can see what they're like, they can see what I'm like as a person, I can learn a lot more about their needs and talk them through some of the consulting options that I have. And so this is a model that I've been using for the last few years. I found it to be very effective, and it's just the way that I like to do things. So I'm going to show you kind of how I've got that set up and some of the little intricacies that I've kind of got in place to make it work a bit more effectively. So here we are, first of all, on one of my consulting pages. I have different consulting services. I've got, Asana consulting that I offer. I've got Pipedrive consulting as well. So these are just different landing pages that just talk a little bit about the types of things that I can help with. On both of these pages, the only links, the only thing you can really do is book an introductory call. So either from this link or this floating button down here, the only thing you can do is book a call. And then you get to decide, do you want to, you can book a call, and I'm currently, with my calendar now and the consulting that I do, I'm booked up about 2 weeks in advance. So you can book a call and you can just find a slot that fits in with your calendar. But I now have this new option, which is a priority call. And I know that there are some people that don't necessarily want to wait 2 weeks to talk to me. Maybe they have a bit more urgency and they just want to talk to someone a bit sooner. And I found there are people who are willing to pay a fee to kind of jump the queue. So I do have this second option, which is a priority option. And I have some slots on my calendar reserved specifically for people who want to talk to me sooner. When I got started with my consulting, I didn't have this. I just had the one consulting booking option. But as I've become busier, as demand for my services has increased a bit, I now have this priority option as well. And then people can pick one of these, and then they can go through the steps to find a time and a day that works for them. And you can fill in, they have to fill in their name, their information. I do ask for their phone number and Skype details as well. So I do have a few ways that I can contact them. If I can't reach them on Skype, I can always call them if I'm having trouble. And then down the bottom here I ask, what service are you interested in? And there is an opportunity as well for people to tell me a little bit more about what specifically they need help with. And this is really useful because sometimes people will type things in here. I'll get an email from Calendly that says, John Smith has made a booking. And I might see from their response, oh, actually, that's something that I can answer for them right now. Or maybe it's something I can't answer for them. Or maybe it's something more technical that I can't deal with. Maybe they need to contact Asana directly. So in which case I can try and deal with it there and then. But it's good to know a little bit about kind of their needs before I go into the call either way. So that's what they see from their end. If I just show you a little bit about how this is set up in Calendly, I'll just edit this here. This is where you can customize the event, so you can specify how long is the event. My introductory calls are 30 minutes. I can specify the days and times that I want to be available. Down here I can, this is how I request the specific information I want on the form. So I've chosen to get, basic information, contact information, and that type of thing here. So you can customize the questions to your business. And you can as well customize the notifications. So I've actually integrated with my Google Calendar. So when somebody makes a booking, it will actually put appointment on my calendar and their calendar. And we both get invited as invitees to that appointment. So that if we have to reschedule or if I move the appointment for some reason, we will both be notified about that change. On certain Calendly plans, you can choose to send text reminders, which is really useful as well, reminding people about their call before the appointment. And there is an option to collect payment as well. So I've done this obviously with my priority option. You can connect Calendly with a service like Stripe or PayPal, and that's how you can connect or collect a small fee for your booking. So that's the Calendly setup. And then when you're done, you literally just want to, I've chosen to embed this booking form on my page. So you just grab the embed code here, and you can go through these options to select what kind of embed do you want. So I've gone for a pop-up widget. You can customize the text and the color, and you just grab this code and you paste that into the head of your website, and this is how you get this nice floating button down here asking people to book a call. So that's the Calendly side, really nice and simple. And then the final thing I want to show you today is what happens when they make that booking. So I actually use a third-party automation tool called Zapier, which works off kind of a trigger and action system. So when the invitee is created, this triggers an automation. And I'm actually going to have that booking get added to Pipedrive, which is my sales CRM. So that booking is made. I then have a filter here that says, check that this is a consulting booking, because I actually do use Calendly for booking calls with my actual clients as well. So I don't want this workflow to run all the time for my normal sort of 1 and 2 hour appointments. So I have a filter to check that the event name up here contains the word introductory. So these normal ones, call with Paul 30 minutes, 1 hour, they don't contain the word introductory. So this workflow will only run for introductory calls. I have a few steps here to format the person's name as title, case, the event type, that type of thing. And then over here I have some steps that will create a new contact in my Pipedrive account. And this is Zapier is really useful because it means I can say, right, this is the person's name, this is their email address, their phone number, and their Skype details. I can put all of that in the appropriate place in Pipedrive. I then have Zapier create a new deal for that contact as well. So I've set up a contact, now I need to set up a new deal. So I have all that happen as well. And I've even put in things like the person's name and in brackets the service they're interested in. And then the final couple of steps here, I have activities created, one for myself, which is an introductory call. This is an activity that says I have an introductory call at the time that the person has booked. So I can actually say, you know, it's at this time, this is the time booked from the Calendly appointment. And then I also have an activity for my assistant as well. She confirms the appointments before the booking. So Zapier, using Zapier to integrate Calendly with my CRM is a great way to save a little bit of time. It means that when that booking is made, I don't have to manually enter all that data into my CRM. Zapier can actually do that for me. So there you are. That's a little bit of an insight into my consulting service, kind of how I manage the first engagement with my clients. I've been doing this for the last couple of years, and this is a little bit of personal preference. This is just how I like to work. Like I said, I want to get people to book a call with me because I think it's really valuable to be able to talk to someone rather than trying to learn what they need through email or getting them to fill out forms. I much prefer to talk to people. So there you are. If you have any questions about how this is set up, questions about Calendly or Pipedrive or this kind of consulting call to action, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.